Yeah, looking forward to this weekend here. Obviously, the games they're worth points in the pairwise in the non-conference, and that's where you build your body of work early in the season here. And we have a really good opponent coming in here. So, in saying that, we're preparing through the week here, and we're going to be productive in the fact that we'll be ready to go on Saturday night.
What are your impressions on watching Providence?
Yeah, they're a very hard team. They're a physical team. They play fast. They play a north game, and again, it's one of those things where you're bringing an opponent in here that's one of the top ranked teams in the country that play with a purpose, and it's a situation where we have to make sure that we play our game to try to have success against this team, and again, it's going to be a good weekend. We have a lot of alumni coming into the rink this weekend. It's the Hall of Fame game, USA Hockey Hall of Fame game. We have a lot of alumni coming in here that came from a lot of different eras, and there's going to be an obvious purpose as far as an obligation to play in front of our alum.
Do any of those guys ever interact with the current team?
Yeah, 100%, absolutely. Obviously, the younger guys that have just playing pro hockey or just retired, that have been kind of less removed from our program, probably a little bit more so. But again, players from the older eras, from years past, still check in from time and time again, and it's great to see those guys back here as well.
What things do you want to see your forwards do better than last Saturday?
Just playing with more conviction with the puck and without the puck. I think it's like teams check so well these days. Doesn't matter who it is. At the end of the day, you have to be more predictable to your teammates, and you have to be more committed into putting the pucks into areas where you can have success. When you're turning pucks over through the neutral zone or high in the offensive zone, that doesn't give you a lot of chance to sustain offense, and you're playing in your end a lot more. And I think it's a situation where it's got to be with more conviction and playing north.
Do you consider juggling lines for this?
Absolutely. We'll be down to 4 lines, 6 defensemen, maybe an extra forward, extra D, depending. But we will, and we have, yes.
Defensively, what are some things that you want to see the D-men do?
Probably box out. Probably, early identification when pucks are coming to the net, of not having traffic come to our net. And, we've done a good job over the years of doing that. We got to get back into doing that. I think it's no secret, whether it's Providence or Augustana or whatever team is, when plays are in our zone, teams want to get to the net. No different than what we have to do, and we probably have to do a better job in the offensive zone of doing that. But at the end of the day, of letting our goaltender do the job of seeing that first shot and then eliminating any second opportunities.
What does it mean to host the Hall of Fame game, and how did it come about that it was going to be in Grand Forks?
Yeah, so I guess to start off with, the UND Athletic Department and obviously Jody Hodgson at the Ralph Engelstad Arena. Jody's done a great job of kind of organizing and getting ahead of that as far as the bid process, as far as different destination sites, and then obviously this one being at home. And I think we've traveled a lot, with different neutral site games, and this was an opportunity to have it at home. Our fans travel a lot, and there was an opportunity to host it at home, which is a really good idea. And I think in a couple of years from now, we'll be going to another destination place. But great opportunity early in the season here to play against a very good opponent in front of our fans.
I know Schloss asked about what you want to see out of the forwards, but your upperclassmen specifically, do you want them to take on a more vocal or leadership role after what you saw last weekend?
Yeah, well, I think that, leadership becomes in all different forms, right? Leadership becomes an example of what you do in practices and the games. Leadership has a form of the vocal leadership, the side of giving instruction to newer young players in your group here. So, yeah, I think it's a situation where they've done a good job. I know it's one game, but at the end of the day, whether it's an exhibition game, non-conference or conference, the standard is a standard. We play at a very, very high standard, and it's one of those things where we're all going to work together to get to that standard.
Going off of that a little bit, what has the response been from the players this week to that exhibition loss in practice to get back to work?
Yeah, knowing that, wasn't our best, and knowing that it was a very workmanlike, professional, knowing it was going to be a tough Monday and Tuesday, and it was. At the end of the day, it was tough. These guys worked hard through the different things that Brad brought up on what we need to get better at, and I thought they did a good job. Now it becomes, we got to continue that through the week here. We only play one game this weekend, a very important, pivotal game, but we have time here to make sure that we're productive in the things that we have to get to. And the most important thing is making sure that, there's urgency in our game throughout the week here.
How important is it to get a fast start as well?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think, when you think of college hockey or hockey in general, when you can score that first goal and press and dictate play, that's a huge, huge deal instead of playing from behind. So again, absolutely getting a good starts right away and getting momentum right away, and not just with one line, but everybody together playing North Dakota hockey.
Despite the result from the exhibition, how much did that game prepare you guys for this weekend and beyond as well?
Well, it got the attention of everybody, right? At the end of the day, we didn't play our best. We know that we have a lot better. We know the standard that we have to get to is a high standard. And I think what it allowed us to do is be honest, open, recognize it, be very transparent that that's not good enough. And at the end of the day, in order for us to have success, which we've had a lot, we got to get to that level with a new group.
Brad, what are some things about this Providence team that kind of jump out to you guys that they do well?
Yeah, they're physical. They get to the net. They're a very, like I said, they play hard and heavy. They've got good defenders. They've got a good goaltender. They're a team that plays just a simple North game, and they play very hard. And again, that's a situation that's exactly how, when we're playing our game, that's exactly how we play. And again, that gives you success when you make it hard on the other team. We got to make it harder on them than they do on us.
Providence won 37 faceoffs last weekend. Has there kind of been an emphasis this week in practice about, getting the puck first, getting that opportunity to maybe make a breakout or even on the power play?
100%. That's the very first play of start of every play, right, is a faceoff, and who's going to gain possession. And one of the things we always talk about, it's not always, it's the centerman in there. You have an obligation as a center, but you have an obligation as wingers to help out too. A lot of times pucks aren't just ripped back. They're laying right behind the centerman, and you have to have wingers willing to jump in and tap it back to gain possession. The other thing is, on face-off wins, you have possession. You can go on offense. On face-off losses, now you're trying to chase the puck down to get it back, and you expend energy doing that. So we want to make sure our energy is focused on trying to play on offense, not trying to get it back.
You mentioned the importance of game one with obviously the alum in town. It's the first game of the season, Providence ranked team. Just how important though is it to get win number one in that first game at home, knowing the tough schedule that follows like it always is every year?
Well, yeah, it's always important to get off to a great start, and obviously winning, that's our primary goal, right? But there's a process to happen to get the win. Like for us, yeah, win, absolutely, but there's a process. It's a shift-by-shift attitude, a period-by-period attitude, and for us to have success, you have to realize that it becomes in those small segments that you have to win. You have to win your shift, you have to win a period, and then ultimately the game takes care of itself. So again, just boiling it down to the small segments within that process, and everybody doing their job doing it.
What were your thoughts on your goaltenders on last Saturday, and what's kind of the plan for this Saturday, if you want to share?
Yeah, like at the end of the day, I thought they came in, they made saves that they should have saved. Stuff that went in was we didn't give them a lot of help on. Guys driving the net, secondary opportunities in front of the net. Like those are situations where we need to clean up in front of them. And I thought they did a good job of stopping the pucks they should. And again, I think at the end of the day, we have to do a better job in front of them.